Hi, my name is Nick Hahn, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about a project that Hassan Elementary did with an amazing artist named Billy Kheel, who lives in California. Billy Kheel was on a hit show called Making It on NBC. Because of this, I learned about him and his artwork. He's a fiber artist, mostly, but he works with a lot of different mediums. We invited Billy to work with Hassan Elementary so that we could make this amazing collaborative project. I want to show you some of the ways that you can use the ideas from this collaborative project to make a project of your own. When Billy Kheel came to help my students make this piece of artwork, we used the medium felt. Instead, today, you're going to be using paper. But, like the felt fish, we're actually going to stuff it and make it three-dimensional. So we're going to use simple shapes to create our design, and then we're going to stuff it just like we did with the felt pieces on this amazing piece of artwork. For my paper stuffed fish, I'm going to use Billy Kheel's perch design that he created. For my inspiration, I'm going to start out with a large piece of paper and fold it in half. Try to line up the corners with each other. Hold it in the center. Watch how we get this nice fold. Bring your finger down and then across. That makes a pretty nice fold, but really, if it's not perfect today, it's going to be okay. Let's take a look at our inspirational fish. Looks like I can kind of break this down into some simple shapes. If I look right here, I kind of see a shape. What shape are you spotting? Yeah, I see an oval as well. This body is kind of like an oval. And then right here we have another shape. If I were to add it here, a little bit of a triangle. There's a triangle here too, if I were to simplify this design. Triangle, triangle. Look at, there's two triangles here. All right, I'm going to be able to use some simple shapes to make my simplified version of a perch. So I mentioned starting out with a nice big oval. That's for the body. Now when I'm looking at the nose part here, or the face, I mentioned going and drawing kind of a triangle. That gives that pointy nose. This back fin can be a little bit of a big triangle. Ooh, there's another one here. And then down here. The tail, maybe I'd add a little bit of a triangle here. And then it kind of goes up and back to the body. In general, I have a shape that is similar to up here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a couple of my lines. So this line I don't need anymore. And this line I'm going to get rid of. This one too. Okay, now it's time to work on the rest of my design. I noticed some shapes right here. A big circle for the eye. And then it has a small circle inside. There is a bit of a mouth, so maybe I'll put that on here. Get rid of this line. We have a side fin. And then some stripes coming down. Those are kind of triangles too. I'm going to go ahead and make some of my stripes. Up above, there's that same kind of pattern, maybe a little tighter. And back here as well. I also spy a little bit of it down here. and in the tail. Let's get rid of that first. There we go. Okay, this is a great start to my perch. Now that I have it done in pencil, I'm going to outline everything with a permanent marker. The outline is done. Now it's time to color. Remember when you're coloring to leave no white spots behind unless you're intending it to be white. Maybe it's part of your design. But majority of the design that you have created should be filled with color. Take your time, make sure that your hand is going slow and getting rid of all of the white spots. For this particular fish, I do want some white on mine, so I'm going to leave the whole belly white. But take a look at the colored parts. I definitely took my time, tried to make sure that I was coloring inside my lines, creating my designs, and getting rid of all the white spots in those areas. Okay, the next part that we're going to do is make a bubble around our fish. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line below. About an inch away from my fish. So it kind of looks like that. I'll do that on the top as well. There we go. All right, if you remember, we folded this earlier, so I have a fold right here. I'm going to cut on the bottom, so the opposite side of the fold. I'm cutting on my bubble line. It's okay to snip off little parts as you go. That makes it a little bit easier. To turn that, that's kind of difficult. So I'm going to move my paper, come in from a different way. All right. Yep, that's looking better. Good. Now I have just the bottom done. It's still attached by the fold up here. That's good. That's what I want. I will be using a stapler, but you could use glue as well. If you were using glue, you would add it along the very bottom of the fish and place it back down. One line. For me, I'm going to use a stapler. So I'm going to set my stapler right above in between the fish and the bubble line. Take my hands, place it on top of the stapler, and press down with my body weight. Do not hit the stapler. Don't put your fingers underneath it. We're placing it where we want it. Hands on top, body weight down. All right, I'll do this around the whole bottom half. Now that I have my bottom half of my fish secure, I'm going to work on the top half. So again, I'll cut on that bubble line. Now this time I'm going to leave a space. It should be a big enough space that I can put my hand in. So for me, it's this front fin from here to here. I'll be able to put my hand inside the fish. So I'm going to add the staples. Okay. Now, notice I have created a little pocket here. We are going to use paper, recycled paper, maybe tissue paper or paper towels, and we're going to stuff it right into the top. Okay, I tried to fill it so that it was nice and full, but not too full. I don't want my staples to start failing and falling apart. I also was being extremely gentle when I placed it into the fish, into the stuffing. Looks like maybe I could get a little bit more down here. I'll add a little bit more and then we'll talk about stapling the top. Closing your fish can be a little difficult. If you have too much stuffing in there, it might not close at all. So I'm making sure that I have enough but not too much, and taking the two pieces of paper, putting it together, and then finishing up the stapling along the top. I'll do this along the whole base, and it does get tricky, so be patient, be gentle. Okay, now that I've done that, I have a completed stuffed fish. You can look and see if there's any places that could use an extra staple or two. But overall, my fish is now completed. Using Billy Kheel as inspiration and the artwork from Hassan Elementary, I know that you're going to come up with an amazing art project.